I'm Chris.
And I'm Danique.
And we're going to break down conception.
Tell me when it's over, I got someplace that I gotta be. It won't leave.
And so, since he wrote it, he's going to explain what it's about.
Well, conception takes place in 2077. 30 years prior to that, there was a world war that broke out because over resources and religion purposes, political, anything that you can think of, they were fighting over it. But the war got so bad, resources all over from food, metals, finances, currency got jacked up. So at some point, they all become under one government, right? New World Order. And because resources were so thin, they are now governed by population control. Somebody somewhere way up thought it'd be a great idea to keep the population within a certain number. So at that point, that is around now where we're meeting Joe and Sarah as they are dealing with these laws and rules they're governed by.
Yeah, and then starting off, when you first open up, you see Sarah coming in from work. Yeah. She is a high-level nurse. She is a
super high.
Yeah, so she's a doctor of nursing practicing, and so she comes in. And the thing you don't understand is, or you don't know is that before she got to work or before she got home, she ended up stealing a pregnancy test from her job, which is a crime in its own.
Super crime.
And so, aside from that, the fact that she's possibly pregnant, that's a really big deal. Because, one, she's trying to climb up the ladder. Yes, she wants to have kids, but in this new world, it becomes a really big deal. And then we have Joe when he comes home.
Joe. So Joe is obviously the husband of Sarah, and he is a neuroscientist. So, he be working on them nervous systems, baby, So he's done a lot of things to get in a position to where he's now not like extremely important, but you're not going to just find another one of him on the street, So his status in the world is okay. He's not top surgeon, but he damn sure ain't the bottom, So when we find Joe, obviously he's coming inside, and as y'all can see, man, he had a letter came. That's right, he had a letter. So this letter is coming from the government, right? The government stating, whether or not that you can procreate, as they're sitting there anticipating this letter, they've tried, I think at this point,
I think it's like 6 times.
Well, I think they tried 3. I think it's every 2 years you're able to put in for an application. So you got to think 3 different times, 6 years.
Yeah, 6 years.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They've been waiting a hot minute.
Yeah.
So Joe is unsuspecting of anything that Sarah has done, So when we find out that they're reading the letter, they're pretty ecstatic because they've reached the top 10%, A few years ago, it was 15%, and each year it kind of dwindles down. So the fact that they hit 10%, very, very high standing, man. Until, right, they read the letter.
Yeah.
Disaster.
Yeah.
Emotions. So for Joe, it's just it's a disappointment. You know what I mean? He's not understanding like where he's working as a neuroscientist, you know what I'm saying, and his position that he holds at his job. They have good finances. Their credit's cool. They haven't had any known family history of abnormal stuff, whether it be mental or health-wise. Sarah and her position, top nursing, whoop-de-whoop, doing her thing, and they still get denied, right? So for him, he's just mad, disappointed, not understanding, not knowing that Sarah...
Yes, so Sarah knows stuff about herself. And so for her, she's thinking, all right, if we're in the top 10, all right, we're about to, and then they just pull the rug right underneath her and say, nope, still not there. And as women, like your biological clock, so it's like how many more years before it becomes hard to end up conceiving.
Yeah.
So for her, it's kind of like hey, I need this and I need this now.
Yeah, because it was kind of heavy, obviously being denied. For Joe's like, oh man, I'll try to figure it out because he's met a couple people, and he has he doesn't necessarily think that they're going to be able to overturn because you got to think, man. There's levels upon levels in order to get permission from the government to procreate. You know what I mean? But the fact that he says he's going to go make a phone call, who is he calling? He has to have somebody that's up there, like...
Yeah, because I think I was at that Christmas party that he met somebody.
You were cheating on Joe?
No, I'm talking about Joe.
Who
Joe
baby
met
is
somebody.
this?
Joe met somebody at the Christmas party.
Who baby was it?
And he got some evidence.
That why
so
you crying?
he felt like he might be able to get a little push in where they be like, hey, just slide this under the rug. Yeah.
Yeah, so Joe leaves, right, to go make this phone call to see if he can figure something out. He's calling somebody at the government office, man, Congress, something like that, way up there, to see if they are able to get something done. He's done some good work, so he's going to try to use that status he has as leverage without knowing that somebody has a different motivation because, like she was saying that the fact that she's pregnant, you haven't gotten permission. So if y'all haven't seen it, that the deal is if you are caught pregnant with a baby, you're doing stuff without permission from the government, they will fine you up to $200,000, jail time. They'll castrate the men. It doesn't matter if it was the woman or the man. They will castrate the men and they will tear out all the women's giblets for you to never be able to even attempt to have children.
Yeah, that's your only chance.
Yeah, and it's even punishable by death. So it all depends on that status matters, man. You might just get the shit cut off, you might just get the fine. But, for most poverty, they end up just killing them. You know what I'm saying? Because it's one less family or less people they have to take care of, and it's like if you're not doing anything worthwhile for society, how they feel, you have your standings, man. They just get rid of you, So with that, Joe ends up coming downstairs to the bathroom, and this is more tying into Sarah's mindset, right? Somebody who has a very difficult job as a nurse, looking for more leadership and responsibilities, and usually has her shit together, man. You know what I'm saying? And for her to leave something like that laying around, especially for Joe to find, let alone Joe, you ain't even supposed to have it. So when he walks into the bathroom, that's where that's at, because somebody was like, well, they ain't gonna know where he is. He in the bathroom, right? So when Joe finds this is kind of where our story, or the short itself, ends. Because at this point, a little background on them, they don't believe in anything that is happening with the government. You know what I mean? They don't believe in abortions. They don't believe in any of that stuff. Especially Sarah. She don't roll like that. So the fact that she got this baby, because baby, back in the days, man, I don't want to get too grimy with that, but how women used to have to get rid of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Especially without health care and all that other stuff if they were caught.
They're just going to go live off the grid.
Just go live off the grid, you know what I'm saying? She says that, but he's like, what about the rules? She said,
we'll be with people.
What she said? Oh, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that's kind of where we ended up on that, that struggle of whether or not they're going to keep the baby, or they're going to try to get off the grid. There's factions out there, but that's why the war never stops, fight never stops. But who would have thought that they never would have thought that they'd be put in that position. Other than that, man, how long it took us to make this, to make that, it didn't take very long at all as far as like real planning, because we didn't have very much experience when we started that, so we kind of just got the camera, shot it, without any real knowledge of what we were doing. Obviously, that ain't the point no more, but but it's just to put context in behind it.
And it was number one as our first one.
It was our first short, man, so we was pretty proud of that, We're using a Sony A6400 camera, and now we have lavalier mics and stuff with a boom mic and all that, but that wasn't it. You know, that wasn't in. You know, we ain't had none of that. You know, so the sound kind of be like whatever, the coloring. But it's an experience. And I didn't want to like not show that, especially when y'all go down our page and see other stuff we've done. I want over the months and years to see our progression in filmmaking. You know what I'm saying? Because we are actually actors. You know, we do stuff, but it's like, it's different when you create your own stuff, especially when you don't do the lighting, you don't do the camera, you know what I mean? So it's like,
a lot of that goes into it.
It's fun, you know what I'm saying? So other than that, man, we hope that y'all go and catch the movie if y'all ain't seen it. If you have seen it, hope we go watch it again with a new perspective of, oh, that was their first time. But hey, stay tuned to next week's short that we shot. It's Midnight Killer.
Yep, that one was written by me.
All right, yeah. Hey, she got some skills, man. So y'all gonna see that come up after this one. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna see it. This is a little sneak peek. Like, so you see how the difference in the chairs, man? This is a little sneak peek into a project we are currently working on. So y'all gonna have like some weeks until y'all see this one. But we planning. I'm telling y'all, we keep it moving, man. So one day y'all gonna see this color, and if y'all seen this, y'all gonna be like, oh shit. We seen that shit. We knew the Easter egg. I'm just kidding. Hey, man, we appreciate y'all from stopping by, man. Multi-World Productions. That's what we are. So
thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Thank you for comments. And any comment, we definitely appreciate it, especially if you see something that you want us to try.
Like and subscribe.
Yes, let us know.
All right.
Anxiety creeps up on me. Is this how it's supposed to feel? Tell me when it's over. I got someplace that I gotta be. It won't leave. My friends say, get out of your comfort zone. It's a blessing in disguise. Get out of what you call home. Your name is written in the sky.